Okay, we finally got the brand new iMac redesign in the studio, and I'm going to unbox it, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on everything about this new iMac, the design, the accessories, and if you should actually get this or not. So, get us snacks ready, and let's open this baby up. Okay, so first things first, I just want to take a quick look at this box, and I know the angle is a bit distorted, reason why it looks so massive, but on the top we have the iMac logo, which actually matches the color of the iMac that's inside, and we have a brand new strap, which looks actually very similar to the one that you get on Apple Watches. So that's new compared to the old plastic one that we used to get with the previous iMac boxes. Then on the left, we have an image of how thin the iMac actually is. Same thing on the right-hand side. And then on the bottom, we get a sticker with all the specs of this iMac. So this is the 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and 256 gigabytes of storage. So this is the higher-end model, which comes with a Touch ID keyboard and the Ethernet power adapter. Other than that, we have an iMac on the top, which again matches the one that's inside. And then on the back, we get an image of the back of the iMac. So I really like how Apple has designed this box so that from every single angle that you look at it, you actually get to see an angle of the iMac that's inside. Opening up the iMac box is pretty easy, as we have this pull tab. Right, so it says hello in the box, and then we have these two different compartments. Oh, this is cool. Okay. And this is the iMac. Wow, this is light. Wow. This is crazy light. Oh man, I can't believe that this is an iMac. Like, honestly, this thing, you can barely even feel it. It's pretty impressive. And then inside the box, we get the rest of the accessories. So it seems like this is where the keyboard is, and the Magic Mouse, and everything else. So we get the Magic Keyboard. We're gonna take a look at all of these individually in just a second. We get the Lightning to USB Type-C cable. We get the iMac power adapter, so the cable and also the plug itself and some instructions. Then we get the power cord, and then we get the Magic Mouse, and that's pretty much everything. This box is massive, so let me just get rid of this. So let's take a look at the instruction manual first, designed by Apple in California. We have iMac here, and this just tells you where the power button is, the keyboard with Touch ID and the Magic Mouse, the ports. We then have the warranty and the safety guide. We have the same thing in a different language, and oh, we have color matching Apple stickers. I was really hoping that Apple would do this. And what's really cool about these two stickers is that they, you know how the iMac is dual tone, these stickers are also dual tone. So we get one that's just blue and the other one that is a more pastel version, which matches the stand of the iMac. Right, then we have the power adapter, which is now external. So because of how thin the iMac is, Apple had to make it external, which I can see why some people are upset about this. I'm actually not. And the reason why I'm not upset is because we also get Ethernet included in this power adapter, which is pretty awesome. We only get this with the higher end version. So if you buy the baseline, you won't get this, but I'm pretty sure you can also buy a separate power adapter and have Ethernet included in it that way. Now, something that I was really curious about was how big this power adapter actually is. So here's a quick size comparison. This is a 13-inch MacBook Pro power adapter, so this is a 61 watt power adapter, and as you can tell, it is quite a bit smaller than the iMac one. And then this is a 15-inch MacBook Pro or 16 power adapter, so this is an 87 watt power adapter, it's 15-inch. And as you can tell, the iMac one is quite a bit bigger, and that is because this is a 143 watt power adapter, so significantly more powerful. So you just have to plug in this cable into it, and there you go. Now you are good to go. And yeah, it's pretty much it when it comes to the power adapter. Now I want to take a really quick look at the Magic Mouse. So there you go. This is it, and it looks pretty much identical from the front to the previous one. And as you can tell, the only difference is that on the bottom, the color is different. So it now matches the color of your iMac, which is pretty good because you'll get to take a look at his back a lot, because that's what you'll see when you're charging it. They still haven't changed the port, which is on the bottom again. Now, the keyboard has changed quite a bit. So let me just unwrap this. So this right here is the previous keyboard, and you can probably tell that the biggest difference is that the new one now matches the color of your iMac. Unfortunately, you cannot buy these separately as of yet, so the only way to get a blue one is to buy a blue iMac. Now, aside from this, the keys themselves some of them are a bit rounded, and that's because the keyboard itself is also rounded, which I do like. The key travel feels about the same. I don't really feel any differences at all. And even typing is pretty much the same. I think this one is a bit quiet, so they have changed the noise levels a bit. I don't know if you can tell. Of course, the biggest addition is Touch ID into the power button, which is pretty great. This replaces the previous eject button, which was really useless. And the new keyboard is also a tiny bit shorter. I don't know if you can tell, just a tiny bit compared to the previous one. Another big change is that some of the function keys have changed. So F4 is now search as opposed to launchpad. F5 is now dictation as opposed to nothing. F6 is do not disturb as opposed to nothing again. And that's pretty much it. And again, we get Touch ID, which we're going to test in just a second. And the back of the keyboard has also changed as well. So now we have this rubber material all over the back of the keyboard, whereas previously only the feet were made out of rubber and the whole back was made out of glossy plastic, whereas this is, again, rubber. Hopefully you can tell that. And here's a quick look at all the accessories and how color matched they are. So the cable is also blue, the power cable, which matches the lightning cable to charge the accessories, and the accessories themselves are once again blue. So I'm a big fan of Apple's attention to detail when it comes to this product. Now, since we have the same M1 chip inside this M1 iMac as in all the other new Macs, it doesn't really do anything that the other Macs cannot do. So I think that what you should really focus on with such a Mac is getting the most out of it with apps and clever tools that can enhance your daily workflow. For example, you should install iStat menus, which will give you an easy to understand overview of how your entire Mac is running, from CPU to GPU usage, network usage so that you can tell what's eating up your network, and more. You should also try tools such as this drill, which allows you to recover lost data you've accidentally deleted. Or Gemini, an app that scans your entire Mac and can automatically find and delete duplicate files to help you save a ton of space. I use all of these apps myself, so I highly recommend them. And if you want to use these apps and 200 plus more that help take your Mac to the next level, check out Setup, our sponsor for this video. For a low fee of just $9.99 a month, Setup offers you tons of categories of apps to choose from productivity, personal finance, security, and more. And with new apps being constantly added to their catalog, Setup always has the right tool for the job. Try Setup for free for 7 days by using the link below. And finally, let's take a look at the iMac itself. So first impressions are that it is way smaller than I expected. So I know it's 24 inches, but honestly, coming from a 27-inch iMac, like I know I haven't used one in some time, but we do have a few in the office, and this just looks so tiny. So long story short, to open this up, you just detach these flaps here. Then, there you go, this is the iMac. And let me just remove the plastic wrap. I gotta say, I love the blue on the back. This is well, it's ZLT blue, I would say. It kind of matches the colors of the channel. I'm absolutely in love with this. And you can probably tell that the blue changes depending on how the light hits it. So at some angles, you have this lighter blue, and then at some other angles, you have this darker navy blue. So I absolutely love this. I think it's honestly the best looking, from the back, the best looking Mac that I've seen, at least for a long time. And then in the front, we have Hello, which matches, well, the old iMac branding. Ooh, the white bezels. Okay. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about this. So this is actually my first time seeing this iMac in person. I haven't been to the Apple Store yet, so this is actually my genuine first impressions with this iMac. And I gotta say, the bezels are definitely there. I do like how thin it is. Like, this is pretty insane, guys. Look at how thin the iMac is. It is thinner than my finger. And this is the first gen iPhone. I don't know if you can tell, the iPhone does have a curved shape. But it is a bit thinner than the first gen iPhone, which is pretty impressive. And if we compare this to something like an Apple Watch, yes, the Apple Watch is thicker than an iMac, which is pretty nuts. Now, a super quick look at the ports on the back. So we have 4 USB-C ports, 2 of which are Thunderbolt 3, so up to 40 gigabits per second, and I believe these are up to 10 gigabits per second, so these are much slower. And then we have the MagSafe / magnetic connector. Now, this is a bit of an interesting one because it automatically attaches, but it doesn't actually plug in, so you have to manually push it for it to plug in. At least that's how it seems like. Yeah, there we go. So it will click when you push it. There we go. And then you can easily disconnect it if you want to. Then we have the power button here, which is indented, so you can't actually feel it if you're reaching from the front. And then I don't know if you guys can tell, but the stand is now a bit different. So it has these two white straps of rubber just to prevent it from sliding on a desk. The thing is, these actually match the leaked MacBook Air renders from Jon Prosser. So it seems like this pretty much confirms that, or not necessarily confirms, but it gives us a good idea that the MacBook Air could indeed have feet like this. Right, so the iMac is now plugged in, so let me just boot it up, and we'll do a few quick tests. Wow. Wow, the bass was super impressive. We will be doing a speaker test, so stay tuned for that. Oh, and I absolutely love how during the setup process, the background actually matches the color of the iMac. Hopefully you can see that. So I just need to enable the accessories, and then they should both automatically pair. Whoops, I actually skipped the animation, but it was writing hello. So I do like it so far. I gotta say, guys, this display is absolutely incredible. It's just so bright and so vivid, like even gets blown out on the display. I cannot adjust the brightness yet, or actually I can. But yeah, it's just incredible. It's super, super sharp. I feel like it's even better than the one on the 27-inch iMac. Like it just looks way more vibrant. It's super sharp, and just the brightness just blows me away, even though this is the same 500 nits as all the other iMacs. Okay, so now we got to the Touch ID setup process, and it seems like it is very similar to how it is on something like an old iPhone or the iPad Air or even a MacBook. And there you go, the iMac is ready to be used. So yeah, first impressions, I'm still not a fan of this gigantic chin. I'm also not a fan of this blue. It's just too light for me. I love the blue on the back. This is incredible. Look at how it reflects the light, the pink lights that we have. It just looks incredible. Now we will be doing some actual benchmarks, and we have something very, very unique coming soon. So definitely subscribe for that. I promise you won't regret it. But in the meantime, something that I do want to try are the speakers on this. So I'm gonna max out the volume, and let's play. Okay. That's pretty nuts. The bass is so powerful. This is incredible, guys. Okay, speakers are pretty nuts. They don't actually seem that loud, but just the quality of the speakers is absolutely incredible. And now just one last thing that I want to try out is how quick would Touch ID unlock the iMac. So let me just put my finger here. And yeah, there seems to be a delay, a slight delay. It's still pretty quick, but as you can tell, it takes like a second or maybe a tiny bit more to unlock the iMac. And I also want to see if the display is off. Can I just... Yeah, so this is pretty good. If the display is fully off, you can just place your finger on the Touch ID sensor and it will detect it and unlock it, which is pretty good. Okay, so at the end of the day, I think this iMac is a pretty great product. Not because of its performance, which is basically the same as the MacBook Air, which is already very, very good with that M1 processor, but mostly because you get the full package for a really good price. Like this display, you just cannot buy a display of this quality, and also something like a Mac Mini and build an iMac for the price of this device. Yeah, I think the main reason to get this is if you're a photographer or someone who needs the performance of the M1, but also a very good external display, and you're looking for the best external display, then I think this is an amazing package and you should definitely get it. But for anyone who wants better performance than what this machine can offer, then just don't buy it, because we will have a 32-inch iMac coming out by the end of the year, which is set to come with a more powerful M1X processor, or even more powerful than that. So I would stay away from this. Also, we have the upcoming MacBook Pros, the 14-inch MacBook Pro and the 16, video on that right here. But until then, if you need something to work on, and a device that, like I said, has an amazing display, then this is, I would say, the best bang for the buck. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, because like I said, we'll have some very unique benchmarks coming soon. So they will cover the iMac and a few more devices. But until then, I'm Daniel, this has been Zen of Tech. Let me know in the comments what do you guys think of this new iMac, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Zen of Tech, signing out. Cheers.